Hey everybody, how are you guys doing today? Man, we got a lot of good stuff to go into here today. I'm going to wait a second, let some people jump in. Hope everyone's having a good week. Now, I know a lot of people think that they can keep going, but I'm going to get into why they can't keep going. I know a lot of people think that they're winning this, and I'm going to get into why they can't keep this up here. It says muted. Can you guys not hear me? Yeah, this one's a little late. I had a lot of stuff to do today. We're like rearranging our whole house here. Man, that's why it's a stream, buddy. You can watch it again tomorrow. But the first thing I want to get into here is I'm going to actually expose Virtu, Dougie Fresh. And, you know, he walks around like he's a little big shot, and everybody thinks, you know, he owns Virtu, or he's a super rich guy. He has about $30 million, which that's a lot of money. He has a stake in the Panthers. But what a lot of people don't know is Dougie Fresh has a Ken Griffin at his company. Dougie Fresh, everybody, thought, Dougie Fresh was the Ken Griffin of Virtu Finance, but he's not. He's not at all. So let's get into this real quick. I posted this earlier today. Asked Dougie Fresh, what's going on here. So there's a guy named Vincent Viola, and he's an owner of the Panthers, just like Dougie Fresh. Now, I want people to understand here. Let's go ahead and click into this. Pension fund says Florida owner Viola used control of Virtu to siphon hundreds of millions of dollars away from public investors. Now, one of the things that I thought was very interesting in this is it talks about Virtu's board of directors, which obviously part of the board of directors is Doug. He's on the board of Virtu, obviously. So they went up to Doug and said, hey, he's doing this. He's siphoning out hundreds of millions. And they were aware of it. And instead of fixing it, they actually helped do it. And now Virtu refuses to produce the documents to show that they helped him. So in other words, Virtu took Bernie's little scheme and he did it to them, and he's stealing from the iron workers, their pension funds. Virtu. And like I said, him and Doug, they're on the team together. Doug is basically the face. He's the puppet. This guy is their Ken Griffin. This guy is the largest shareholder of Virtu. This dude is a piece of shit. This is your Ken Griffin of Virtu. It's not Dougie Fresh. Dougie Fresh is nothing more than a CEO puppet. So when we talk about Ken Griffin and we talk about Citadel, make sure you talk about Vincent and you talk about Virtu. Don't put little shitty Dougie's face. He's nothing more than a piece of trash, puppet, face of just an image guy. But again, Doug was aware of the wrongdoing, and Doug went ahead and he helped him do it. Because this guy went ahead and he stacked all of the board with his own people. And Dougie Fresh realized, hey, I'm outnumbered by the board and I don't want to get fired, so let's go ahead and help him out. Doug, you're a criminal. You're a piece of shit. Keep talking crap and I'll keep looking into you. And keep it up, buddy. You are a fucking loser. Now, getting past our little Dougie Fresh. I know a lot of people, when Phase 6 came, and I thought something was going to happen this month. It did on the 3, and it did on the 6, and it did on when Phase 6 happened. I thought the 9-month was going to be bigger than it was, and it wasn't. You ended up having emails deleted, contracts, all sorts of fun things happened. And once the LIBOR thing should have happened, and there was trillions renewed in swaps, what did they do? They did a no action clause. But one of the things I want people to understand is exactly what I said was happening now. You're starting to see in the repo market, and it's going to keep going down. The death spiral is what is going to finish this off. And I'm going to show you everything that's going on in the background with this death spiral. They're going to keep on leaving the repo markets because these rates on the treasury bonds are going to get so ridiculous. So ridiculous, they're not going to be able to keep away. I've already showed you guys hundreds of billions has already left and went into the treasury market from the banking sector. A lot of people still think that we're powerless, and I'm going to once again show you, even they are admitting that I am right, and I've been right from the beginning. I've showed you guys how to win. You got to get the fuck out of these banks. I'm telling you, I will show you exactly what they have to say about all of this. We're going to get into an FDIC meeting. We're going to break down everything they say. But we'll do that in a second. But the problem that they have right now is you have a government that cannot stop spending money. They raised the debt ceiling 1 month ago. They've already spent over $1 trillion in 1 month. People laughed when I said Janet Yellen says in the next 2 years, 50 trillion is possible. And I go, they're going to spend $1 trillion a month. And people didn't believe me. But every time they spend these trillions of dollars, these rates get these bonds get more attractive. The rate will go up higher and higher. It will get riskier and riskier and riskier to buy that debt. They have no choice. Well, the problem is, I'm going to break this down in a second here. These banks will not be able to keep up with this. These banks can barely afford to raise rates now to keep up with savings. And now you have other things coming out at 4-5%. These treasury bonds are going to get up to like 7%. And it's going to happen within a year because these guys are going to continuously spend. They spent, it was literally like 1.1 trillion already since raising the debt ceiling in 1 month. And that's going to keep on happening. And one of the things is they're not spending it on making our lives better. And this is the problem. They're spending it on bailouts, other countries, propping up this, doing that. I don't even know what the fuck they're spending it on. Where does $1 trillion go in a month? I have no idea. It's a very fucking good question, and I'm going to dig into that and we'll find out. But here's the thing. They keep on sending and spending and giving Ukraine, giving other countries money. I showed you guys that we've given them $44 billion. The next closest person was at like $6 billion. Ukraine, their reserve is at a record high now. They have $39 billion. And what did we just do a couple weeks ago? We went ahead and found billions more to send them. Ukraine is exactly what I showed you. This war is exactly what I showed you it's about. It is about the $500 billion deal for BlackRock. Because BlackRock owns the world. They even own Virtu. They own every fucking company. We've already seen what they own. They own everything. Every fucking thing. When BlackRock has a $500 billion deal to rebuild Ukraine, the United States will spend hundreds of billions of dollars. They don't care. And they're going to keep sending it, and they're going to keep fucking sending it. They're going to keep spending money at a rapid pace, and they're not going to stop. And it's going to be the point where inflation's going to get ridiculous. They're going to have to print, and these banks are going to keep needing brand new federal programs. This shit's about to get insane. Now, one of the things I want you guys to understand is every single market in the background is exploding. And the only thing that is propping these guys up is constant bank loans by the feds. The new federal program for the bank bailout, they're due. They have to pay those back. Well, the other thing that they're doing is, I don't remember if you guys remember a month or two ago, I showed you about Silvergate. Silvergate should have went under a long time ago, but what did I end up showing you guys? They used the federal home loan program. They ended up giving out 5. I showed you guys they gave out 5 loans that year, 5 home loans that year, and somehow they went to the government and were able to qualify for, it was like $3.5 billion. And they gave out 5 loans. Well, all of this information started coming out when people started looking at those loans I was talking about. And guess what? The top 34 banks have all taken them out. And they're all basically, massive amount of their equity is just these fucking bailouts. It's just these hidden bailout loans. that they're not even using. They're not even using properly. These were meant to give out home loans so they could afford to give these out. And they're going, well, I'll give out some home loans. I'll give out 4 or 5, maybe 10 loans, but I qualify for billions now. And I need these billions, but this is like continuously going from one credit card to the next. I got to take this credit card to pay this off. Everybody sits there and thinks they're going, you guys don't understand what's going on in the background. Everybody sits there and why don't you panic? Why don't you blow up on all this stuff and go crazy? It's because I believe in this fucking play. I don't need reassurance every day. I don't need reassurance every single hour. I'm watching it burn in the background. The fact they needed that no action clause already shows me there's bills and bills and bills and bills and bills that are stacking because we're fucking holding all of these obligations that they're selling. All these things they thought they could short, they can't. But we're not fucking getting out of these plays. Everybody found a stock and they're all fucking holding it. They don't care. They're all riding it to the ground. And these guys are fucking filling more obligations by the day. I'm watching the OBV. We all are. We're listening to what these guys are saying. They showed us there's still 3.8 million holders. We know what is going on. We have bought in the float many fucking times over. Many times over. We all know about the OTC market, all of this stuff. But the fact is they have all of these obligations that they need to continuously run to the government. I need a fucking bailout. All right, but we can't just bail you out. It's got to be loans. It's got to be fucking, you got to pay this back with interest. So they're continuously saying, all right, I'll pay you with this card. This, like I said, eventually it will catch up to you. Look at all of this. They are all living off it. 84 of the biggest banks are living off these loans. I've been telling you guys before, there was 76 banks that were on the brink of collapse before, back when they were talking about SVB and, oh man, there's not that many. And then I showed you guys there was 38 banks that were negative. 38 banks should have already collapsed before SVB. 38 were already negative. These guys are filling obligations they just cannot fucking fill because we're not letting anything go. And it's having a ripple effect on these guys. And I want you guys to understand something when I show you about these bonds. The bond market is getting fucking smashed. It is getting absolutely smashed. And how do they hedge their positions? They hedge it in the bond market. These guys' hedges in the background are getting fucked. And it's going to get worse, and it's going to get fucking worse, and it's going to get worse. I showed you guys their unrealized losses are already 512 billion, and they're just going to go higher and higher and higher. The Fed's already talked about, we need to do more rates. We got to raise them. We got to keep raising the rest of this year. We're going to keep raising. They have no choice. They're so fucked. Now, this came out a month ago, and it was talking about everything I've been showing you guys since day one. People keep calling me a shill, and it's like, no. I've shown you how to beat this. I've shown you how to beat the system. You cannot beat a system. This is what I keep telling people. Everybody, oh, you just call people uneducated. Yeah, because why you guys are complaining about these things that are just, oh, man, this should have did it, and it didn't, so now this. Understand the whole background system. You have to fucking learn it before you can understand how to beat it. You have to understand just how deep and how to beat the fucking banking mafia. Because they're tied in everything. Why did they collapse SVB? 90% of those deposits went to JP Morgan when JP Morgan was on the brink. When they were on the brink, right after Jim Cramer said they were a fortress. We know what that means. They needed this bank collapse. They called up Goldman Sachs, which is Goldman Sachs is now being investigated for that bank for that exact reason. Because a phone call was made and all of their depositors ran. And guess where they ran? They all ran to JP Morgan and it collapsed the bank. They needed those deposits. I've told you guys forever. I don't care if you have 5. I don't care if you have 10. I don't care if you have $100 in your account. If it's in an ISDA bank, get it the fuck out. Because they cannot afford it. They cannot afford any of this. If 2% of all depositors try to take out their money, the system is toast. FDIC cannot cover insurance. They're talking about this in the. I'm going to go ahead and put this up for everybody in chat. And I want you guys after this to take a couple minutes. It's 12 minutes long. Listen to this video. Don't just take my word. Listen to these videos. Here's another one right on the bottom. They talk about everything I'm going through. But I'm not going to play 30 minutes of video. FDIC, I showed you before, it already was on the brink of collapse. It can only cover 1%, and they know this. And this is why I told everyone, get to a fucking credit union. Because I don't care if you're FDIC fucking insured. If it collapses, which it will, then what? Guess how much the government doesn't care about you? Guess how much these banks don't care about you? Do you remember last week I showed you for fraud? JP Morgan's getting fined because they're not responding to frauds. They're not giving people money back that are saying, hey, I'm getting frauded. This guy got $30,000 taken from him and was proven to be fraudulent, and JP Morgan would not put the money back in their account. Now what's going on? You have the same thing happening. US Bank, they're doing the same fucking thing. Now they're paying a fucking fine for the same shit. Illegal practices. They're not giving people money back. They're making them jump through fucking hoops. They're making them do all of these things. Meanwhile, credit card transactions and theft is at an all-time high. Debt is at over $1 trillion. And these banks are saying, go fuck yourselves. I don't care. They're not even looking into it. They're not fully crediting. They're crediting people half. They're giving them just a little bit. No, I got stolen from, and you're supposed to back it. So what the fuck? They stole it from you. This guy went in with a fake credit card. Your cashier handed him $30,000. Now US Bank's doing the same shit. Get out of these banks. They're going to screw you over, and they're the ones backing the hedge funds. But back to what I was showing you guys before. They know they're fucked, you guys. They know that if we figure out to get out of these ISDA banks, their collateral is gone. And that means their collateral, all of their collateral, is literally just bank loans from the government. That's all they have backing them. Credit card debt. Here, credit cards are backing everything I have. The problem that they have is this is fucking up the entire economy. Look at the housing market. You just saw the bond market is getting absolutely fucking smashed. Absolutely smashed. 35 months straight getting fucking crushed. Maximum drawdown, 17%. Your housing market. Here's the thing I want people to understand, because I told you there should have been a housing collapse in the United States, and there should have been. But here's the problem that you have in the United States, and this is what is holding it up. And it's in this place where it's just stagnant, and it's literally, I don't know where it's going to go, because I don't know what can happen at this point. You're basically making it to where what you're going to do is nobody will ever be able to afford a house. So let's look at what's going on in the housing market. Number of home sales fell to a record low. Why is that happening? You have all these old people that have, mortgages at 2, 3, 4, 5. They're not going to sell their houses. Why would they ever sell a house to buy a new one to refinance? And guess what? We're at 7.22%, and it's only going to go up higher. So what you have right now is a supply of nothing but brand new homes. So the houses that people can afford, nobody's selling those. They're not going to get out. You can't pay them enough to get out of their 2% loans. You can't pay them enough on what they need to recover just by going up to 7.22%. You can't. So those people are basically locked in. So your supply that nobody can afford, that nobody's getting loans, because I showed you guys earlier, banks for the first time are losing money every single time they give out a home loan. They're losing money. So they're giving out less and less and less. And that's why I was telling you guys, it's a credit crunch coming too. Sorry. There's a credit crunch coming as well. Because we're not going to be able to get money out of these banks. It's going to get harder and harder and harder and harder to get these loans. It's going to be basically nearly impossible. Now, these prices can't fall because you have a large supply. The demand, it's not there and it can't ever get there. But these guys are they're building these houses, these $400,000, $500,000 houses right off the bat. And they can't afford to lower these brand new fucking houses at $500,000. So everybody is just basically stagnant. So you have a housing market that needs to burst, absolutely has to burst before people can fucking afford anything. That's only going to get worse. And the supply will be continuously brand new. You guys are seeing the new houses they're building. They're like fucking mansions. Who the hell can afford these? So you have a housing market that is just fucked. You have a bond market that is completely fucked. In Canada, it's getting so bad in the housing market. Look at this. I want you guys to understand this and truly think about this. How much are you paying over the course of a 60-year, 70-year, 90-year mortgage loan? They're giving out 60, 70, and 90-year mortgage loans. People will die before their mortgage comes up. And guess what? They're going to transfer them to your fucking kids. Your spouse will have to take care of it because they're not going to take a fucking loan on it or a loss on it. But you're buying a house now for generations down the fucking road. Like I'm telling you, they're making it to where owning's not going to be a thing. It's just going to be renting. You're literally fucked right now. And here's the thing. It's hilarious now because before I get to that, you have Larry Fink coming on now. And a lot of people, like I said, how do we win? What is our thing? What are they saying? Take your money out of ISDA banks. I've said this for fucking years. That is how you stand up and stop playing the game. That is how you knock over their chessboard. You just fucking take your money out of the fucking corruption. It's that simple. Go to a credit union. It's that fucking simple. I've said it forever. Stop playing options unless you know what you're doing. They've hit max pain on you guys for like 2 years in a row. And people... Biggums, you're an idiot because options are how we gamma squeeze, not when they control everything. They only need to hedge for those positions if they see it coming, and if they can control it, they don't need to fucking hedge and buy for all that shit, do they? When you see how the system is against you, fucking don't play it. Stop playing it and stop playing their hand of poker. Play your own. Now, back to Larry Fink. Crypto. All of this shit here. They saw what was happening. People were pulling out of the banking system and they were getting into crypto and they needed to gain fucking control on crypto. Once they got complete control of crypto, and now that Larry Fink here has his ETF established, what's he doing? He's coming on saying they're the greatest thing ever. There's no better hedge out there in the world against any currency devaluation. Just get a crypto Bitcoin. Just get a Bitcoin. It's protection against all devaluation of your crypto, of your currencies. You don't have to worry about a perfect hedge. Now that we control it, now that we can fuck with shit with our ETFs and we can make our money up and down on you guys, it's the perfect fucking hedge. We got it. Now he's in here saying to people, don't buy gold. Don't buy silver and shit like that. That's not the way to go. Get fucking Bitcoin. So, something these guys were against, national security, now they're all 1,000% for. Why? I told you guys a long time ago they had 2 choices, 3 choices. And I was going to take about a month or 2 for me to see what fucking path they chose. They could either stimulate the economy to keep the charade going. Because what that would have done is giving your middle class money. But what would we have done with our money? We would have went and spent it at their business, and they would have got their money right fucking back anyways. But it would have made us get by. How could they have stimulated the economy? They could have done a couple stock squeezes and let some of these squeeze. And instead of doing that, they go, fuck that, we're not giving them any money because we're fucking piles of shit. They can keep going until, or what they can do is they could have kept on going, kept stealing, kept printing, kept fucking the world, kept stealing billions, hundreds of millions, just like Dougie Fresh here and his real boss, Vincent Viola. And they could have just kept on, raising the debt until we said enough's enough and we fucking stormed the castle. Or they could have done door number 3, which is now the path that I believe they're starting to take. And a lot of people that are big in finances are starting to say the same thing. And I've been saying this for a while. And I hope they don't take this fucking path. And I want you guys to listen to this, because this is what some people are believing as well, is they chose path number 3.
Okay, it's because they're losing control because they're at the end. So I'm thinking, and I could be wrong, but I don't think that they're trying to keep it going. I think that they only needed to keep it going long enough to get the next system in place and controlled enough so that they remain in power on the other side of this transition. And I hope that's not true, because
And I hope that's not true, but honest to God, it's looking like that's the path they've chosen. I think they chose path number 3. I think they were going, all right, fuck it. We're going to crash this shit, and we need to get our CBDCs in place, and we don't give a fuck. We're going to keep taking obligations, and we're going to try and get this to pass. And I don't think they're going to be able to get this to fucking pass. What they're trying to do is get CBDCs in place, like I've told you guys forever. That is exactly what they want to do. Federal Reserve certifies 57 organizations for instant payment. FedNow, this is going to be their first fucking bullshit, and this is what they're trying to do to get their little bailout next. This is what they're trying to do to get the system of a CBDC in place. And this is what I told you FedNow is all about. That is what this is about, nothing more. Getting a base operating system in place that they can build off to get their CBDC. Now, a lot of people are starting to wake up to that, wake up to the corruption, and they understand this is what they're fucking doing. There are people out there that are talking about, fighting it. There are tons of people that are going, what are you guys talking about? You're talking about opening Pandora's box with this shit, and they fucking are. They're talking about making global financial insane amount. The people that are stealing, you're giving them the fucking ability to print and make their own currency, their own collateral at a dime, at a whim, so they can never, ever, ever fucking lose, and they will always be able to make these insane, fucking ridiculous bets. Always. Because they can just go ahead and say, well, let me get some fucking CBDC. Blah, blah, blah. It's backed by this. Fuck off. And it's not, like I said, CBDCs are the biggest fucking joke. I mean, it's insane. It talks about, market structure, all of this. If these guys, the availability of credit, like I talked to, if these guys are just sitting there, I'm making unlimited fucking ridiculous bad bets, and they can go ahead and get their own shit, they're going to be in such financial disarray. For us to get these loans, it's going to be even more fucking ridiculous, nearly impossible. CBDCs are a fucking complete monstrosity of a joke. And this is what they want. And when they get this in place, and when they can control what we can spend it on, This is what their goal is. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but this is what their fucking goal is to try and get all this shit in fucking place, get these CBDCs in. Now they can control what we can and cannot spend it on, and then they can go ahead and do their stimulus. Like she said, once they can now still stay in power. Boom. Now you can have your shit, because we'll pay you guys. We'll cover our bullshit loss in CBDCs, and we'll open new contracts, some bullshit, and try and make that back up, because that's what we'll do. We'll make it up with unbacked collateral. Because what have I showed you guys forever? What did fucking Gary Gensler himself say just a little bit ago that I showed you? They fucking love it.
At which those banks
38 seconds. They fucking love it.
Well beyond the minute at which those rate loan. By the 1980s, to determine LIBOR, banks were using the rate at which
Not
those
this bullshit.
collateral,
Here you go.
or what's known as unsecured loans. And it became so popular over the years that it was embedded in literally hundreds of trillions of dollars of financial contracts around the world.
Those ISTA contracts I was talking to you about. Hundreds of trillions of dollars, which I've showed you guys, quadrillions of dollars were just taken out with unfucking backed contracts. So they'll do it by CBDCs. They'll back it all again through more bullshit CBDCs. They will pay you guys. And then they said they're not going to do it individually, but then they'll just go ahead and refuck the financial system by opening up new unsecured fucking contracts through CBDCs. And they'll start all over. But here's the thing. They're still fucking taking out obligations, and they're still running for bailouts. The fact that they are fucking running for bailout. I mean, look at this, you guys. Charles Schwab. Look at percent of their equity. 138%. I've told you guys. Charles Schwab, dude. Everybody was talking about fucking. I'm like, get out of these guys, dude. Like, good grief, dude. 3 of these people went down because their entire fucking everything was just a loan by a fucking home program that they had to repay, and they used as assets. USAA. A lot of people are asking me about USAA. USAA, 116%. Key bank. Fuck, even these guys in the 73. Even people like this. If half of your assets are backed by a federal fucking loan. Like I said, guys, these banks will go ahead and they will fucking eat each other. And eventually, all of these people, all of these investors are going to run away. Because no matter what, these fucking things, just like this, will get lower and lower and lower. Look. Their offer rate is less than treasury bonds. And guess what? Treasury bonds are going to get higher and higher and higher. They're going to start leaving these at a rapid pace. Like I said, and that's going to fuck the banks. So like I said, guys, I know it sucks. I know like it feels like it's going on forever. I know I was excited about a lot of things, but I didn't realize, which I should have. Obviously, I should know the level of corruption. I've told you guys the level of corruption, and the only reason I ever believed in Phase 6 and ISDA was because it was worldwide, and I figured the rest of the world hated us so much they would hold us accountable, but I guess I'm wrong. They fucking did it. They just ran away. They literally just said, fuck the United States. Let's get away from the dollar. It's gonna collapse. I told the second day, I go, they're either gonna hold us accountable once they see what's behind the curtain, or they're gonna run. And they fucking ran. They just said, fuck them. It's that bad. The United States has gotten fucking that bad. I mean, you use whoever you want as a broker, but I would not be using them as a broker at all, my friend. Not when I saw that stuff. Why would you take that risk? I mean, dude, you're talking 130%. That means your bank's already under. They're already under. They should have already collapsed. Why would you want to be in there? I use Fidelity right now. yeah, that was all I wanted to fucking cover. But I mean, like I said, they're running, they're scrambling, they're going to every fucking corner of every which end. Which why? Because they still have to pay on all of these obligations. So like I said, guys, I know you think because you look at the stock price and they can cheat. And we know they can fucking cheat. And that's the thing. You know they can cheat. So don't let every fucking penny get to you. If it's not a buying opportunity for you that day, go relax. Get your mind off the market for a day. Don't turn on Al from Boston and get all worked up because he's the most fucking retarded guy in the world and get slapped around daily by fucking the judges and think you need to come talk to me on Twitter. If you try and show me the Antera deal one more time and go, it's collusion because you don't understand that it was a fucking negotiation email and part of the deal, people going, well, he wanted the yes vote. Yeah, because as a CEO, he realizes they needed to raise fucking capital. And part of the negotiation, I said day one, he wanted the yes votes from the entire fucking thing. It was the only thing that made sense. But is that collusion because you think it fucks up your stock play because you think these are the same people that tell me that the conversion lets them off obligations because the cusp ID changes. No. All obligations transfer over to the new cusp ID. Fidelity literally went over this with everybody. Fidelity, a broker, literally went over this with everybody the second ape was created. So when you already were proven wrong and then come at me and say, well, this is why you're fucking a shill because you want the reverse split, cracks me the fuck up. I mean, literally. The funniest shit I've ever heard. I literally said this before Adam Aaron. Hold on, where the fuck was it? Ah, man. March. I literally came up with this idea. I posted it and everyone talked shit about me going, let's do the conversion. Let's fucking, I'm just talking too much shit. I love it. I gotta do a different thing. I can't remember what that DM said. But dude, I literally put out a thing about talking about the conversion, paying off debt. And everybody goes, why, blah, blah, blah. Guys, I'm so fucking convinced in this play. Nothing's going to get them out of these obligations. Nothing. And everybody goes, we'll prove it. Okay. Well, every single one of you, guess what, have a brokerage, right? Every one of you do. Guess what's going to happen? The day of the conversion, every one of you will have the amount of shares that you're supposed to have, right? Oh, I'm sure you will. Everyone will have the amount of shares they were supposed to have. So that means all the shares and obligations were still technically intact. They're all still recorded. Because if these obligations that these guys say, well, they disappear. They go to the obligation warehouse and die. Nope, they're still in all the fucking brokerages accounts because guess what? These brokers go to a market maker to fill the order. So it's on the broker's book, it's inside your platform, and it's on the market maker's book as shares sold, not yet purchased. So they're all still there. They all still owe. Like I said, it's ridiculous. What you need is AMC fundamentally to strive. You need their short thesis to die. You need to get the fuck out of debt. So for Adam Aaron as a CEO to go, hey, I need these yes vote to what I think is majorly beneficial to my entire company and shareholders, I don't see how that's fucking collusion. I see that as a CEO doing what he thinks is financially responsible for his company, which is his job. And like I said, I'm not going to suddenly turn on an idea I've said multiple times before Adam Aaron. I think the judge will rule here. I'm going to look at questions now. I'm done going on here. I think the judge will rule here in a couple weeks. I don't think it's going to take too long, to be honest with you. I mean, that entire court case was a complete fucking joke. It was just a joke, dude. Multiple times she said that has nothing to do with this. That has nothing to do with what you're complaining about, what your number one thing is. Like, she was going down the list, and the entire time, the dude couldn't make a case. He had zero evidence. The only thing he could talk about is how much money he wanted. That was literally the biggest gong show of a court case. The guy's lawyer literally said, Your Honor, I'm starting to come on your side. When your own lawyer says, yeah, you're right, you've convinced me that we're wrong, I don't expect the court to, to rule in your favor. So I'm not too worried about that as well. Dude, you're wrong about the reverse split. And if it did happen, you would have an excuse for why it didn't. Okay. I shouldn't even read that stupidity. Boss Blunt's Lit Exchange, dude. I'm not doing any of that stuff, man. Like I said, it's still funny to me. I haven't talked to Boss Blunts in like probably 9 months. Me and Boss Blunts haven't, like, everybody thinks me and Boss Blunts are like best friends. And they just lump us in together. I don't know if me and him have... April. This is how much me and Boss Blunts talk. We say about 4 words to each other a day. And it's usually about, these guys are just talking shit. Cool. Like, we don't fucking talk, people. Damn, check out this chick. What's she be doing? What the fuck is going on with this spam trash? Get this out of here. Let's all go back to Vincent. So remember, as we leave this, make sure you remember, Ken Griffin of Virtu is not Doug. It's Vincent Viola. And he siphoned hundreds of millions of dollars from public investors, and he's being sued for it right now. And Dougie, when Dougie found out, this is the most important recap. When Doug found out, when they were aware of the issue, instead of fixing it, they actually helped them out. So Doug gave him fucking pointers on how he could cheat better. And then they won't give up any documents. They refuse to give up the documents. What you're going to see is Virtu have, just like JP Morgan, well, we deleted 177 million emails. Yeah, we know. So what you're going to see is Dougie here delete some emails pretty soon. So just be aware. Dougie Fresh is nothing more than a puppet. He's just the CEO. He's nothing more. But he owns the Panthers. This guy owns the Panthers. This guy is his boss, and they use Virtu is just his company to siphon. And Dougie just sits there and Doug, you're a piece of shit, exposed, and you're a little bitch. What a fucking tool maker, this guy. Let's see. Let me go back into the chat. Let's go back into the chat here real quick. Do I think AMC MOS is this year, man? It's hard to say. I think that these contracts still on... Is it for 12-month, the 1-year contracts? Usually when people take out contracts, it's 1 year. So we should see what happens then, but knowing these fucking tool bags, they'll just do another no action. What are the Panthers? They're a football team, man. Here, go ahead and take a look. Here, go ahead and take a good read in this. Everybody get up on that. You know, if you want another website, there's tons of them. I mean, this dude's getting sued for sure. Look at this shit, dude. Dude's just fucking stealing. Oh, it's a fucking hockey team, dude. My bad, y'all. It's a hockey team. when CBDCs come in before we squeeze, that's what's gonna happen, dude. No, they're not. They're gonna pay you in dollars because they've already said. What the fuck was it? Wasn't the feds who said it? Somebody said it. I thought it was the fucking feds. Wasn't the feds, man? I know I posted it on Twitter. Here, let's just fucking do this. Actually, here, one second. Damn it. I thought I both. I must have just posted. I can't remember who the fuck said. I thought they said the Fed said they won't do individual CBDCs. So they're not going to pay us out in CBDCs. It's going to have to be money. But what they're going to end up doing to fuck us over still is they'll open up new contracts that won't be backed by anything, that will still put all of our financial system fucked. It'll still fuck us over. So we'll be paying for it all in the long run is what's going to end up happening. But they're going to have no choice but to pay you out. Because everything's fucked. Like I showed you guys, everything is fucked. They still didn't pay, and that's the other thing. They still have all these LIBOR bills due. It's not like they're not due. Just because they have a no action clause for a little while doesn't mean these bills are due. Think about it. They have tons and tons and tons of bills stacking. And they're just backed by no actions that will eventually fucking have to go away. You can't sit there forever and you go, no, you're good, you're good, you're good. Keep taking out this credit card, this credit card, this credit card. I mean, like I said, you're already seeing how many of these banks. I mean, you're at like 100 fucking banks. This thing showed 84 banks were basically running off leverage on loans. They needed these massive fucking loans. I thought I had one up that was fucking showed the 600 billion, because there's like 600 billion. It's just fucking ridiculous. Oh yeah. And that's the other thing they're trying to do. So now these guys can go ahead and they can get, you know, they'll go ahead and do cross fucking plats, cross country fucking CBDCs. It's basically going to be their own new ISDA, but they can print their own fucking collateral for it. Like, how ridiculous. Let's have a new ISDA where we can create collateral whenever we want. Speaking of doing whatever they want, dude, I thought this joke was pretty funny. Hunter got, you know, we obviously all know that it's Hunter's cocaine. The dude comes and visits. There's videos of him on the fucking balcony doing little bullets. And then they find crack, or they find some fucking coke in the White House, dude. Hunter showed us why it's really called the White House. I don't know why, no, that joke should have been out there a long time ago. But with this Bigham's gift, dude, it's perfect. Oh, man. The Biden White House. That is not a pillow. Fuck Doug, dude. Yeah, Doug's just a little bitch, man. Like I said, this dude's the real deal. Big old Vincent here. Vincent's the fucking Ken Griffin of Virtu. Just a piece. Just an absolute piece of trash. And here's the thing. This will be your next tax. They're going to go ahead and say, we need more money, you guys. We need 200 trillion because we need to stop global warming. I don't know if you guys saw the WEF. They want to take fashion away. They want everybody to wear a uniform by 2030. Shit's fucking... I said, this shit's ridiculous. 38.99, dude. Look how fucking insane that is. We just give Ukraine $40 billion, but we can't fucking help with our own people. No. Here you go. Here you go. They found cocaine in the White House. Oh, that shit cracks me up. How many people are in jail right now for coke? For having like a little, a gram or two on them, and all of a sudden they realize Hunter's out here just coking it hard in the White House while on probation. Like I said, guys, there's our America and there's theirs. Acceptance, waiver, and consent. We gotta get that shit fucking abolished. It is TikTok, dude. When the whole fucking entire financial world, every sector in every fucking possible way is exploding. What would you call that? They're like they're lighting our studios on fire, Warner Brothers studios, because they're trying to fuck AMC. They're trying to make it so they can't, make movies, so they're lighting their shit on fire. Why is there always fires? You know what I mean? Just like all the files lighting those fuckers on fires. This dude already talked about it. They worked for it. They've already robbed us of $100 fucking trillion. But guys, it's absolute fucking joke, dude. I want people to understand the Supreme Court, they're bought off. Took a trip on a private plane from a hedge fund. Would have costed him $100,000 had he done it himself. Years later, the court ruled in favor of the hedge fund. He voted in favor as well. They're all fucking bought off. Judges, politicians. Until we stand up, they will keep buying people off and they'll keep committing fucking crimes, dude. Fucking Dougie. Look what the French are doing, man. I mean, that's a little fucking extreme. I'm not saying go blow up buildings and shit, Jesus Christ, but I mean, fuck. Jesus! Oh, yeah. If you guys didn't see, speaking of Dougie trash. Look at him in little fucking Charles. They found a booster seat for Charles. Look at, that's what everyone's wondering why does Charles look like he's cramped? It's because he's sitting in a fucking child booster seat. There was a family, they had a little kid and they had to wait 2 hours just for Charles to give him the booster seat. Just so Charles could get his fucking hands or his elbows over the table. Oh, fucking Charles. Like I said, guys, 1.2 trillion a month your government is spending. They're gonna hit 50. They said that they expected to hit 50 trillion in 5 years, but they're on pace to hit it in 2. Oh, good old USA, man. Just crazy. Just absolutely fucking insanity. Look at this douchebag. And then this they didn't have enough high chairs in Silicon Valley, so every time Charles came to speak or anything, they couldn't see him over the fucking table. So they're like, dude, we're done. You gotta go, dude. Fucking Charles. Oh, man, dude. Let's look at some things here. Let's have a little fun here. Let's have a little fun. Watch me just fuck Doug Sifu. I just love it, because it's just hilarious. Where is this dumbass? Look at that. He goes, just saw this on Twitter, and it's just some stupid thing. And I go, just saw this on Twitter. Want to give back hundreds of millions you stole from hardworking people? Boom. Ohio ironworkers, dude. They just fucking stole $200 million from them. Like, no big deal. So listen to this. The guy bought that Panthers. He bought his franchise for $250 million. Then he siphoned it from Virtu to pay for his fucking team, basically. He's like, well, I gotta make sure they can't take my team. I don't want him to do what we did to Michael Jordan, where we just stole his fucking team from him. Let's look at the next time I fuck him up. That was the first one. He says, ISDA called. They want their tinfoil hat back. And I said, Ohio workers called. They want their millions back. And then I asked him if his master Viola, does he use lube when he fucks your ass? Oh, I love it. I have fun, you guys. I do have fun talking shit to these criminals. Because that's what they are. They're fucking criminals. And they deserve zero respect. People ask me why I'm so vulgar towards them. Because they're fucking pieces of shit. Speaking of pieces of shit. Before we log off. And I'll answer some questions here. We'll have some fun. Let's have fun for a little bit here. Jamie Dimon is the world's biggest piece of shit they have committed. Let's redo this. And yes, I'm very high, dude. I've had some drinks. We were moving around the whole house, so we're having some fun tonight. JP Morgan has committed 239 felony crimes. $20 tons of coke. Fucking the Epsteiners. Favorite weed strain, man? I don't even know. And you know what's sweet? It's now legal in Minnesota, so I'm jacked for that. But I don't know, man. It's just whatever they give me. My buddy, he gets some good stuff, so we have fun. This isn't a Logitech keyboard, actually. It's an MSI, my friend. I have nothing but MSI in my entire computer. MSI is the only brand. You gotta go with them, man. I'm telling you. What else did these fucking pieces of shit do? Usually I'm on my game right now. I'm not on my A game on the corruption on... Oh, yeah, duh. What am I talking about? They spoofed the gold market for 12 years. Stocks. They back the most head. I'll never be high or drunk enough to not remember the criminality of JP Morgan. And this is what we gotta do. You just keep fucking exposing it, my friend. Just keep exposing them. Keep exposing them every day, and then you hit them with this GIF every time. There you go. Dino poop. And there we go. Just keep exposing. Get the fuck out of these ISDA banks, my friends. Alrighty, does anyone have any questions, though? Otherwise, I'm going to probably head out here. And we'll see what the wifey's doing. She's probably passed out, though. Might have to game a little bit. But I'm going to put out I'm probably going to go live for a little bit tomorrow. I'll put out a video. I got a couple things I wanted to go over that I didn't really want to... I didn't have time to get to. This video was already an hour long. It's been going on for a while, so... Any more questions at all, my friends? Move to another country? Dude, it's fucking bad everywhere, man. I mean, I don't know what... There's some out there that are probably better, but... Is it worth moving to? I don't know. I just feel like instead we should just work on fixing the one we're in. We should all come together, and that should be our goal. Fixing all of this bullshit. And it starts, like I said, buying and holding, fucking these guys up, making them continuously run to bailouts, continuously run to loans, continue to feel obligations that they will never fucking get back from us, and they can stick it up their fucking ass until they pay us. It's that simple. I'm gonna keep buying, and I will always keep buying until I get my fucking payday, because just like the GameStop report told you, the GameStop report admitted you were right. Well, guess what? When they admit that you're right, and they still haven't paid back those obligations, guess what? They still owe those fucking obligations. So until they're paid back, they can fuck themselves. Said, we buy, we hold. As Pinky asked the Brain, Brain always told Pinky, we do the same thing we do every day. But instead of saying, try and take over the world, we're trying to take back this fucking world from this fucking 1% bullshit that has fucking bribed, stolen everything, including your freedom, because you're now slaves through debt. Eventually enough will wake up and get mad enough to where we do take this shit back. Because it's fucking long overdue. This is insane. But just make sure everybody knows, because I know a lot of people can't see my tweets, so maybe I don't want to be called a grifter, but I know now Elon, one, you can't see him as much, and then Elon made it to where, like, people, if you don't even have Twitter, can no longer see your shit, which a lot of people did, so I'm going to keep putting out those 1, 2, 3, 4-minute videos for people that can't see it. I guess I don't really care if people complain about it, because Elon will eventually fix it, hopefully, and then I will go back to it, but fuck him. But thank you, everybody. Have a good night, and remember, Bigums 2024.